Hey everybody, it's your boy Sea Dog back to talk about some Georgia Tech news. I have, of course, been gone and haven't been talking about tech news, since kind of the freaking fateful Bulldogs National Championship that had just occurred. I did a stint, where I was living in the woods, just kind of away from society and everything like that. Moved past that, I came back to the freaking civilization. I went to the Slob Olympics. I placed third, not bad. Your boy Rec Talk and me got third and second. We put on for the city. And now I'm ready to get back into the saddle and talk about some Georgia Tech news because quite a bit has happened, quite a bit to talk about, since I've been gone. Okay, so, well, during the Slob Olympics, that is, on March 3rd, we actually hired Ricky Brumfield as our special teams coordinator. So I wanted to talk about that today. Special teams is a very important kind of thing going on with the Jackets lately. We had obviously terrible performance, last year about it. So I really wanted to talk about that and how important it is to, to improve our special teams because it can really cost you. It's something that you take for granted until until it starts sucking, and then you're like, whoa, something needs to change here. And the game really is in all three phases. It's important to have special teams as well as offense and defense. So that's what I wanted to feature in today's video. Of course, we hired Ricky Brumfield because there was an opening because Jason Seymour, otherwise known as Coach Boogie, has been hired away to become the defensive coordinator at Marshall. So he did get a promotion in that regard. Kind of a weird situation with Coach Boogie. So I didn't think he was going to leave because, of course, Brent Key, refers to him as this. He has like this little pet name for him, and clearly they were friends. Which concerned me. I actually had a video planned to already talk about this, but of course, things changed and he, moved on to another job. So I'll talk about that here. I have my concerns about Coach Seymour taking over as special teams coordinator. Now, Jeff Collins didn't have a special teams coordinator. He clearly didn't see the need, and clearly our freaking special teams have sucked the entire time we were underneath Jeff Collins. We couldn't kick a field goal one year. I mean, it was always something. We couldn't kick a field goal. This past year was block punts. Like, dude, I think we had something like 4 block punts going back to like 1989 or something, some kind of ridiculous stat like that. And we had 4 throughout 4 games this past year. It's completely unacceptable. And it's a really good thing that Collins is gone. He was clearly not doing the right freaking thing there in regards to the special teams. He was asked about it, and he was just like, yeah, we don't need special teams. We worked on that. Clearly had something going wrong, and of course when Brent Key took over, everything changed. We're looking a lot better now. During the season this past year when Brent Key took over, you can't just fix special teams. Special teams is like something that you have squared away, in the off season. It's not something that you can freaking fix during the season, as we saw, okay, because while he did get the punt block situation kind of cleaned up, we kind of traded that for coverage issues and allowed a couple punts to be returned on us. Also, we could not return a freaking punt to save our lives. This is something that really killed us and really hampered us in, big games. It held us back a lot. And me and Rec Talk were talking about this on the way to the Slob Olympics. We had 5.5 hours and we were talking about everything. And I was thinking, what if Jeff Sims had never got hurt last year? Our offense wasn't great, right? But we could have got 7 wins probably with Jeff Sims to keep us from really, we had a great defense. Pretty under Jeff Sims, we had a decent offense. What held us back though was special teams. That would have never, that would have held us back in a lot of situations. Okay, you couldn't have. Even under Brent Key, after Brent Key has promoted Jason Seymour, Coach Boogie, to special teams coordinator, he wasn't able to get all this fixed in just a moment. Brent Key had given this man all of the praise, saying that, as soon as Brent Key came to him with suggesting that he had take the job. He had stayed up all night the night before coming up with all these plays just in case he was offered the job. So, of course, he got it, got the promotion, or whatever you want to call it. It's a little bit weird to go from linebackers coach to special teams coach. But that wraps around back into, even with that, you can't fix that during the season. And we still saw a lot of issues that needed to be fixed going from this past year into this next season on special teams. Like I mentioned, obviously the punt block, that was a problem. Got that cleaned up a little bit, but our coverage, like we were giving up a lot of freaking punt returns for touchdowns. I think we had 2 or 3 of those, and it's just not. It's just as a momentum killer as the a punt block, because we allowed one on Duke, and we were dominating Duke that entire game. Duke, a good freaking team, might I add. Okay, they freaking ran one back on us, and it allowed them to come back into the game. And that, can't be having that. Virginia Tech also ran one back on the last minute with the go-ahead. We wound up pulling that one out of our ass, but it's still a dangerous game to be playing. Punt blocks got to freaking get fixed, okay? Now, our freaking kicking, our field goals, that situation was great. We got rid of old buddy. I'm not going to dunk on anybody here, but we kind of replaced kickers. Gavin Stewart came in, freaking was automatic, dude. He kicked so much ass. He was like, I think he missed 1 or 0 field goals the entire year. He was freaking awesome. So got no problems with that. But another problem was that might be a little bit underrated was our punt. Not only could we not freaking defend a punt return, but we couldn't return a punt ourselves. It seemed like every single time we would let the freaking punt just fall where it may. So this allowed teams that we were playing to absolutely just have their way with us as far as field position. So we had it's just a recipe for disaster. We would get pinned at the 10-yard line or something. It felt like every single drive we're on the 10-yard line. And it's just not a good situation to freaking be in, right? So we're on the 10-yard line. Our offense is already ass. We had 2 hurt quarterbacks. It's just not a recipe. Still somehow freaking managed to win some games. Imagine if we get all this cleaned up. That's the point I'm trying to make. But yes, we had a freaking horrible fun, and we did have a great defense, but, they can only do so much when our offense pinned at the 10, then we have to punt, and they get the ball at the 50 freaking yard line. I keep saying, I try to tell people, yeah, Tech had a really, really good defense last year. And they say, oh, you give up this many points in this game and this many. Yes, when our freaking offenses and special teams aren't doing favors, that's what happens. We get freaking blown out. There's not anything you can do if you're getting the ball at the 50-yard line. But in games where it mattered, our freaking defense showed up and shut down the freaking other team when it mattered the most. This isn't about the defense. Our defense is great. We're going to have some things to freaking address on the defense. We got some people going in the NFL and stuff that we're going to have a tough time replacing, but that's for another video. This is about special teams. So that was kind of the situation of special teams last year. And after the season, I was curious because I was wondering, Coach Boogie already has this position as linebackers coach, so what's going to happen there? Then we hire on Kevin Scherer as linebacker / co-DC, and I'm like, okay, we're hiring him on linebackers, so that I was a little confused. Turns out we were going to have Coach Boogie be our full-time special teams coordinator. So my concern was, I know that Coach Boogie and freaking Coach Key are these great friends and everything. Is he really the best guy for the job? It's his first time being a special teams coordinator. He's a linebackers coach. That was my concern. There's still a ton to be freaking cleaned up. Like I just went through everything that needs to be cleaned up. And can he do that was my concern. Well, now turns out that doesn't even freaking matter because we have Ricky Brumfield. Still doesn't change the things. He's got a hell of a freaking situation to to be coming into. Obviously, our special teams need a lot of work. It's the hallmark of a disciplined team, right? So, if having bad special teams is a telltale sign that you have an undisciplined or crappy team, badly coached team. So, can Ricky Brimfield come in here now and replace, Coach Boogie and do a good job at rebuilding our special teams? And hopefully we get a new freaking punter because our punter's not very good. David Shanahan, he's this Australian freaking punter, okay? And I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, I don't want to dunk anybody. He can kick it kind of far, but sometimes, like I said last year, he would outkick the coverage, and then we get it run back on us. I don't know, and it seems like I'm not like a punting expert or anything, but his every time he goes to punt, he hits it so low off the ground, like his ball connects with the foot a lot lower. It seems like than other punters I watch, and my freaking butthole clenches up about that freaking tight every time he would go back for freaking punt because I figured it would get blocked and freaking did a lot of the time. So that was not freaking fun. We had a couple of punts blocked last year, the year before last too. It was a big ordeal. So, do we look at punter? I don't know. We brought in a kicker and a punter in this upcoming 2023 recruiting cycle. So hopefully we take a look at that. As for Ricky Brumfield himself, he's got a hell of a job to do. I consulted with my amazing contacts. Hit up my buddy Wahoo Brad over on his channel. He's a Virginia fan. And, of course, Ricky Brumfield was their special teams coordinator for a time under Bronco Mendenhall. I asked him his opinion on it. He said he did all right. He said they had a couple punt return for touchdown, which I'm not so sure if that has as much to do with the special teams coordinator as having a good punt returner, but we'll have to see. So not sure who's going to be returning our freaking punts this year because we had Hassan Hall doing it last year. He was all right. Freaking, we used to have Job back there freaking returning punts on fools like it was nobody's business. But anyway, hopefully Ricky Brumfield can come in and fix these freaking disastrous special team situations that we got going on. And that's all I have to say about that. So, go Jackets, go freaking Coach Brumfield, and I'll see you next time.